What is going on, crypto peeps? Welcome back to the Traveling Trader. Looking at the cryptocurrency market cap today, we are currently at 121 bill, an increase of about 8 or 9 billion over the last couple of days. Obviously, this is spurred by, Bitcoin's rally to 3648. Is this a true rally? What does this mean for Bitcoin? We'll get into it. You'll see that altcoins and BTC value, for the most part, when Bitcoin does sustain a rally like this or does experience a rally like this, altcoins for the most part in BTC value either stagnate or start to decline. A few of them have increased in value, BNB being the main one. We did send out a trade alert for BNB, as you guys know. Link is in the description. We'll go over BNB again and why I sent out a trade alert for Litecoin almost 4 weeks ago now, and how that is now panning out to be a ridiculously great trade for us. And then we'll go over the stock market update, looking at BTC. So BTC is currently, again, at around 3,600, depending on where you look at here. This is based on the Coinbase price. We're at 35.92, obviously seeing a little bit of a rally from the 3,300s. Now, a lot of you, rightfully so, tend to get excited about this, but really the volume is still in a declining mode. And even if you don't look at the volume, we're still in this bearish pennant. This is a very classic continuation pattern, and we do tend to break to the downside from the bearish pennant. So as long as we're still in this, there is no reversal. You do need to break above a previous high, especially if you look at the 1 day. We're just in the series of lower highs here. If you go back all the way back to January 2018, and then, here's January, and then you'll see March, and then April, and then July, and it's just a series of lower highs in this downward sloping trend here. So if we take something like an arrow, you'll see it. It's pretty clear to see. So we do need to break above, a previous high, most notably around the 6,500 range here, in order for there to be a true reversal. Otherwise, this, the rallies that we see could just be part of a continuation pattern, as we see in this bearish pennant, or it could be a bull trap, or it could just be a rally that, even if we do break this pennant, it doesn't really mean anything if we fall back down, or if we're likely to fall back down thereafter. So really, this is the key level that we have to pay attention to. Obviously, swing trading BTC, there are certain swing trades you can make. I'm staying away from Bitcoin because it's just currently, it is the market driver. So it is more risky, in my viewpoint, to try to swing trade BTC as opposed to looking at what BTC is doing and then swing trading alts off of BTC's movement, which is a lot more of a predictable game. So looking at BNB, we're currently at all-time highs. I did send out a swing trading alert at the breakout of this resistance level that you see here in magenta, which was right around the 0.5 Fibonacci level as well. So we're currently almost 30% up on that trade. I started investing in BNB long-term all the way back in November, and that trade is up between 60 and 70%. So BNB continues to be a good hedge against BTC. It was towards the earlier to middle part of last year as well, before stagnating and seeing really flat movement between August and the end of the year. But historically, BNB has been a good hedge against BTC. Now let's talk about Litecoin real quick. When did we enter Litecoin? Well, if you look at the 4-hour chart, the reason that I entered Litecoin when I did is because there was a clear support range here. And again, support doesn't have to be an exact price point, right? It doesn't have to be just a straight thin line. It could be a range. Most often it is a range. We just talk about support in terms of lines because they're easier to draw, but really support is a range. After all, this chart represents, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of transactions. So it can't really stop on a dime at a specific line. It will most likely be in a range. So between the $29 to $31 range we saw on the 4-hour chart, there was a good swing trade because every time it hit this range, going all the way back to the beginning of January, it rallied all the way up to about $33 or $34. So that would have netted you around 6, 7, 8%, depending on where you bought in. And that was really the swing trade we were going for. Now, the long-term goal was obviously obviously to get into the $38 range, which is where we saw this drop off here. So that was a long-term goal. My intention, obviously I'm not a fortune teller. I didn't think that we would, or I didn't know for sure that we would break this range, but that was my long-term profit target. If you look at the trade alert in the Discord, you'll see that. And again, access to the trade alerts link is in the description. It'll cost you less than 2 cups of coffee a month. So you'll get a chance to see how I trade and the analysis behind the trades that I make. So that is why we entered a swing trade on Litecoin. This is obviously against the US dollar, rode it up, hit the first profit target, and just held out. And, you know, because of there are some fundamental pieces of news that came out, as well as everyone's anticipating the Litecoin halving that is happening in August, which would, in theory, increase the intrinsic value of Litecoin, as these halvings tend to do. So all that mixed with the momentum and the fact that Bitcoin started rallying, and when Bitcoin rallies against USD, the top alts rally against USD as well. We saw a break of that long-term $38 target and rode this all the way up until 46 before putting in a trailing stop. Now, when you put in a stop, what you're doing is looking to protect profits, and that way you don't prematurely sell or have to make a decision to sell and then, you know, run the chance of the coin rallying again. So if you are just putting a trailing stop, moving your stop limit up, say even, you know, if it's something like -5%, obviously the more that you're up, the wider you could set your stop. You could set it at -10% or -15% if you're up, you know, 40, 50, 60% on the trade. But if you put in a, you know, -5% stop limit, then you would have already been stopped out by this decline back down to 42. Now, looking at this, I mean, it looks like, based on the volume, that this is just a normal retracement. If this was anything more than a normal retracement so far, you would tend to see a lot more sell volume here. You can use something like the Fibonacci in order to measure how far down this retracement is. So if you take the swing low to the swing high, you could see how far down this retracement is moving towards, and it's currently finding some support at around the 0.236 fib level. Obviously, if you use the wicks or not, it makes a difference, a slight difference really, on your Fibonacci levels. But we're seeing support here at 0.236, which is normal. Between the 0.5 and 0.236 is a normal retracement range usually in crypto. Once we start hitting the 0.618 range, there might be a fundamental change in trend. But currently, this to me looks like a normal retracement. As a matter of fact, it looks like a bull flag is forming, which means, you know, you'll see a continuation and then a potentially a move up. Now, because this is against USD, we're at the mercy of what is going on with Bitcoin against USD. So take that into account as well. If you are having trouble with your technical analysis or just need a little bit more coaching with your technical analysis, you can sign up for one-on-one sessions with me. That is the same link in the description as well. So go ahead and do that if you are so inclined. I have 2 spots remaining for February. I only take a max of 10 per month, so I have 2 spots left for February. Looking at the stock market, obviously the US-China trade talks, this is what everybody is watching here. And you can see that the stock market is rather stagnant while awaiting the major news that comes out of those talks. And this is the type of news story that in the interim, in the short term, can really either propel the market into another rally or send the market into a flash crash or somewhat of a correction. Not necessarily a bear market, could be, but we could definitely see a decline in prices based on what goes on here. So I think the entire market, as well as the world, is waiting to see what is happening between these US and China trade talks. Again, the market is stagnant for the most part, you know, minus 0.25% on the Dow. S&P remains kind of stagnant. NASDAQ is stagnant. Really negligible percentage points up or down on both of those. Looking at stocks, IBM, this is currently one that I'm still in, and I'm, you know, excited to see that it is holding steady. After the inverse head and shoulders, we saw this increase. Even though it came in really short on its earnings estimates by about 50%, we did go over what the criteria of why IBM may be undervalued in comparison to its counterparts and what may be the cause of it rallying regardless of what the earnings are doing. However, it is finding heavy resistance at the 200-day moving average here, this green line. Looking at AMD, this is still one that I might put in a short over. It is trading in this sideways pattern, now hitting the resistance of the sideways pattern again, finding some support at the 100-day moving average. Earnings coming in about 22% short of expected. I will be doing an update on the marijuana stocks or the weed stocks because that is an interesting sector, and that sector on its own is kind of behaving like cryptocurrency in terms of its volatility. So I will probably be doing that for tomorrow's update. I will be including stocks in the trade alerts on the Discord. Initially, that is going to go to the Diamond members and above. So if you do want access to those stock trade alerts, make sure that you sign up to at least that level. Also, I will be doing a drawing for Diamond members and above just to show my appreciation and give back. I will be doing probably a 0.03 Bitcoin per month on the first day of the month, drawing for all of the Diamond members and above. In current prices, that's what, like $110 equivalent in Bitcoin, 0.03 Bitcoin. So I will be doing a 0.03 Bitcoin drawing on the first of every month for the Diamond members and above. I'll probably be doing that for the next 5 or 6 months. I'll let you know ahead of time when I plan on stopping it. But yeah, I just want to be able to give back to those that are signing up and that are showing support to the channel and that are getting a lot of benefit out of signing up to the trade alerts as well as the chat and the one-on-one coaching sessions with me. So thank you guys so much for that. That is it for this video. Subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. If you have a question or a comment, leave it in the comment section below. And to that person that's always saying that I look drunk or high, asshole, I do this first thing in the morning. Maybe that is just my look. I don't know. I don't do any drugs. I barely drink. And if I did drink, it certainly wouldn't be in the morning. But yeah, I mean, I do these like first thing in the morning when the market opens. And I'm on the West Coast. So take that in consideration. You can keep commenting it if you like. It's hilarious. But just know that. Sign up if you want access to the trade alerts. Stay safe out there. Peace.